Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Don't Overthink It podcast. I'm your host, Donnie, and today we have a very special guest with us. We have All Eyes on Pink. If you don't know who All Eyes on Pink is, she's a moderator for numerous amount of gaming streamers, and I'm pretty sure she does other things than that. But we welcome you in today. We welcome Pink in today. Thank you for joining us today, Pink. Welcome in. Appreciate you coming in and talking with us today. To start off, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So I'm All Eyes on Pink. Some people call me Pink or Pinky for short because I know my name is long. Before anyone asks, yes, it's my real voice because, some people think, oh, it's a voice changer or something like that. So, no, it's my voice.
I like your voice. It's unique.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And honestly, I'm happy to be here. It sounds fun. The whole podcast. Because I never done this before. So I was like, oh, when you asked, I was like, yeah, I do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun experience. There's a lot of things that, as everything, time and money goes into it. And then, trying to figure out who your guests are going to be. Just trying to get things organized and get a good crew that's going to be here to, back you up and stuff like that. So yeah, we have a good crew here. A lot of work on everybody's end. Our producer, Optimistic, he does a lot of the editing. He does a lot of the short that you saw. He's the one who made those, and that's his music and stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it outside of the thing, and Irish helps us with questions and interviewing and stuff. So there's some things that go into it. It's a process, but having a guest on, having the 30 to 45 minutes conversation is completely worth what we go through throughout the day, throughout the week to get everything ready for the next guest. Usually we don't have guests on, but the past month we've had a guest on every weekend. So it's been pretty interesting getting ready, getting stuff made for them. All right, so we're going to get right into it. And my main question is, and I know a lot of people want to ask this, so you're a moderator. Tell us a little bit about what it is to be a moderator. What do you have to do in different chat groups and different live streams? What's your role as a moderator? What do you do?
So with moderator it's kind of like two different roles. So you have the standard moderator, and then you have you're able to be a managing moderator. So the standard ones and the moderator, both you could do the same, putting people in timeout or hiding them from the channel. But the only difference is within the manager mod, you could put a standard mod in timeout. And I have never put another mod in timeout because I feel as though I don't need to, because if the streamer made them a mod, then they made them a mod for a reason. Yeah. But I do come across some people that will come in chats, and some could be a spam account, or some just be disrespectful towards the channel or the streamer. And sometimes I just be quick to hide them from the channel or put them in timeout, depending on what they actually say. If they just say anything just too disrespectful, then I just, altogether hide them from the channel. But if they just come in and do a little trash talking, but kind of excessive, then I, put them in timeout, and I'm just think about your actions and come back with a better attitude.
I didn't know that mods can time each other out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, the standard mod can't time out a managing mod, but the managing mod can time out a standard mod.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I'm a mod for a couple of streamers, and I didn't know. I mean, I'm just a basic, hey, you're in timeout type person to people in the chat, but nothing higher above me. I guess I can time out, but that's interesting to know. I did not know that.
Yeah. I honestly didn't know it either until a couple of people had made me managing mods, and then I was just like going through like the little settings and like, okay, what's this and what's this? And then one of the streamers actually told me that I was able to put like a standard mod in timeout. I was like, oh, and I just clicked the person. I didn't put him in timeout, but I just like, clicked the person name. I was like, oh, I can.
That's interesting. Yeah. With you being a moderator, give us one of your experiences that you've had as a moderator. Like, what's one of your most? You don't have to give any names out or anything, but what's one of the most heated conversations you've had come across where you've had to moderate and use your power or authority?
It's been a couple of channels actually. Well, I remember one time, I was in a streamer's chat and, him and his friends were all, playing DMZ and someone just came in the chat. It was like 2 people and they came in the chat and was like, basically they can't support him. They're going to unsubscribe because it was the streamer and like 2 of his friends, and then they came across people that they knew in the game. And because there's no more of the 6 man, they still, all play together. And the people that was in the stream tried to say that it was a pre-made 6-man team when it really wasn't. But they were like, oh, we can't support this. I'm going to unsubscribe. And I was just like, well, you don't have to. And I just remove them from the channel.
Some people can be real mean in a chat. I mean, you follow a person because you like their gameplay or you like their personality, you like a bunch of different things about them. And then yet when somebody does something that they don't like, they get all mad and butthurt over it, and it's kind of interesting how people's minds change on an instant because of somebody else's what somebody else says or does or something like that. It's kind of interesting how that works out. But so do you have a number of how many people you actually mod for?
Probably a good maybe 14 or 15.
14, that's a lot. That's a lot. How do you keep track of all of them? How does that work? I mean, how do you? Because every chat that I'm in, I always see you're always in there, and then it's like, and I go to a different one, you're in that one, and how do you manage all of that? How do you manage to go from stream to stream? And it's got to be a busy life.
It is. So, how I see it is like, when they make me a moderator, is because I feel as though that they trust, my judgment as far as if I have to put someone in timeout or hide them from the channel. But I can't lie, sometimes it can get very challenging, because if I have like 5 of them all streaming at once, it's like I have to sit and think like, okay, how I'm going to do this. And so I will have one stream up on my phone and the other up on my iPad, and then I watch, and then I just hop in and out of each one's chat, just to make sure that everything is okay. Like, no one's coming in there being disrespectful or anything like that. So I just, just hop in and out of the chats, and just, different one streams.
Okay, and going from stream to stream is, I do that. I go from stream to stream. I have my computer up, I have my iPad up, I have my phone up, and I'm bouncing from 3 different streams all at once, trying to keep track of what's going on and things like that. You tend to stay so, from my opinion, you tend to stay so positive in those situations. You're positive in all the streams. How do you keep and maintain the positivity that you have?
Well, because I don't want to be rude in their stream. So it's like, they made me a mod, they made me one for a reason. And I don't, know these people that's hopping in and out of the chats and everything like that. So it's like, I'm not going to be mean or disrespectful, but at the same time, I am going to let you know that what you're doing is not tolerated. So I try not to be mean. I always try to keep that positive mindset, because at the same time, I am a moderator for this person's channel. So it's like, I would never try to do anything to disrespect that person, that streamer or their channel. So, I just try to keep a positive vibe.
That's good, because positivity in today's world is a huge thing, and we've talked about it with different streamers that we've had on. A lot of people go into their streams to look for a better day. They may be having a rough day at work. They may be having a rough, some bad news may have come up. Something in their life has changed that day, and they just need an outlet to go to. Having that positivity in that chat is a good thing. I mean, there's times where I drive home from work and I need something to fall back on or reflect to, or to help take away my negativity that I'm feeling. And I go into the streams and I see these guys, they're sitting there having a good time on the thing, which that's to some people, having a good time, while somebody's upset can really upset them. Like, oh, you're having a good time, I'm going to disrupt your thing. But there's a lot of times where I see them having a good time. They're playing a game. They're doing something fun that they want to do. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do that when I get home. When I get home, I'm going to eat. I'm going to go sit in front of my game. I'm going to gain some weight, and I'm going to play. There's a lot of times where people don't understand the positivity that's there, and they try to be negative about things, and how it helps them go from a bad mood into a good mood. So for you having that positivity, bringing it in, and saying, hey, people, let's chill. And not being like a mean bouncer to like, hey, you got to get the heck out of here and stuff like that. But having the positive mindset, hey, let's chill out, let's have a good time here. That's something a lot of people need. Like I said, some people have bad days. They go into these chats looking for that positive, or that certain thing to turn around a negative day. And I'm glad that you're there to help them turn that around. I'm gonna use Yolando for an example. I've had bad days where I've gone into his chat and he's brightened my day just by some of the things he says. Like, hey, how's it going? How you doing today, Donnie? How was work? How's this? How's that? There's times where he makes everybody feel comfortable, and that's part of what you do as a moderator, I'm sure, is make them feel comfortable, welcome them in. I know you always say hi to me every time I come in. So I appreciate that. It's good. It's a good thing that you're doing. You're helping positivity. You're helping somebody who has a bad day, and I like that. That's a good thing.
Thank you. And plus, if I'm in a chat, I like to, joke around and laugh, and interact with other people. So, because it's just like, you just never know what someone could be going through, and it's just trying to, keep that positivity and, laugh and joke. That could actually help a lot of people that, might need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so another question. Do you just moderate for DMZ? Or like for people who stream DMZ streamers? Or do you do like Warzone or anything like that? Because I know Warzone has moderators. So pretty much anybody who streams has a moderator in their Streamlabs or OSB. I'm pretty sure that's right. But do you do anything like Warzone for people who play Warzone or anything?
So majority of them are DMZ, but some also branch out to play other games. Not, just like Warzone, but some may do Apex or Roblox or this game, Dead by Daylight. That game actually looks very, very fun. But so it's just not just DMZ, some just branch out and play other games, and some just, still play DMZ, but regardless of what they play, I'm gonna be right there to support. So
yeah, that's good. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, I know a lot of them play DMZ, and then like I said, people branch out and play different games, but I don't know if it's something that you specifically stay to. Like, oh, he's playing that game, I'm not going to do it because the crowd's not that excited about that game or something like that. I just kind of figured it was something to look for before an incident or something happens. What do you look for specifically?
Like, as far as like if someone comes in chat?
Yeah, so if somebody comes in chat and they're sitting there, they're like, I'm sure you know the usual people who come in, but if somebody new comes in, do you focus on them and like, hey, let's see what this person's about, let's see what they got going on, or is it just something different? Like, how well can you read the conversation before it leads up to an incident? Is kind of what I'm asking. What are the signs that you look for leading up to an incident, where you're like, well, this guy's new, let's pay attention to him and see what he says and how he's acting, and then he says something like, so you red flag what he says, like, okay, I'm watching him because he said that. What do you pick up on to lead up to that leads up to an incident?
Well, so some might just come in the chat and they start off by saying hi, and then you have some other ones that would just come in and just get straight to the point. And so with the ones that, just come in and get straight to the point, I kind of just get them straight out of there. But the ones that just come in and say hi, I'm like, okay, I never saw this person. They saying hi, but I'm not going to focus too much on them because right now they just saying hi. But if they continue on with the conversation, like, oh, you're really good, or how long you been doing this? I'm like, okay, well, they just generally asking questions. But then it's like, in the back of my head, I'm like, this person asking a lot of questions to be new. And I'm like, okay, he's new. Okay, I kind of understand you want to know. But it's like I could read that like a entire sentence, and it could be that one word in that sentence that just won't sit right with me, to the point where I'm like, okay, well, now I have to watch you. And then there have been incidents where I'm like, okay, I was right about this person, and then I would just, you have to go. And then some just strictly, just being nice, like they want to know, this person, they want to know this streamer, and they knew. And so, I mean, sometimes I'm wrong and sometimes I'm right, but I don't react to it, right when I see them. I kind of, wait a while to see how this conversation goes.
Okay. And then with that, as you're approaching the situation or you're reading the conversation, do you specifically try to turn it into a positive situation, or do you just let it play out?
In majority times, I try to, keep it positive. I might say something like, that's not allowed, or don't do that, or if you continuously do it, then I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. But there have been other times whereas I will let it play out, because again, it's like, sometimes I have to read this person and what their actual intentions are.
Yeah. So you just like to sit back and read the whole situation before it plays out, majority of the time. But the real blunt ones, the ones who are more straightforward, you sit there like, yeah, no, not having this conversation today. You're done. And then canceling them out or blocking them. So that's a lot of power. That's a lot of authority that I would like, you know what, I don't like the way you said something to me today. Like, you're banned for, whatever, But that's just me. I don't do that, but if I was to get on a high horse or something like that and get upset, I would probably do that. I'd be like, you know what, I don't like you today. Get rid of me. But I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't even know how to do that, so they're safe on that end. And it's just I got a lot of things to learn. I just go in and watch the gameplay and have fun. I don't really use my mod powers. I've asked a couple of them, like, hey, take it away. I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't. I mean, if somebody says something inappropriate in chat or something like that, I'll be like, hey, you can't say that. I was watching a stream last night, and the guy's like, "Hey, you should let me in for a couple raids." I was like, "Hey, I believe you have to go into his Discord and schedule a time to play with this guy." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks." But I think he asked twice before I said something. He didn't have any mods in there, and I was like, "You know what? You got to go into Discord and set it up that way," from my understanding of it. And he's like, "Okay, cool." And I believe that's what he did. And then one of his mods stepped in and said something to him about it, like, yeah, you do need to go into the Discord and set that up. So, I mean, I do little things like that, and I don't have the wrench, but that's something that I do. If there's no mods in there, I'll say something if I feel like something's inappropriate. I'm like, "Hey, you can't say that in here," or I'll type in !rules and it'll pop the rules up and stuff. So, I mean, that's what I think on some of the things. The other things, I'm like, "Hey, you need to stop that. You need to chill out." But I've never timed anybody out. I've been asked to be timed out, but they're like, "No, you got to do something," and I'm like, "Well, I guess I could do something to get timed out, but I don't think I really want to." So,
like the first person that ever made me a mod, like I remember it like it was yesterday, because like he was the first streamer that I actually watched, because back when I used to play DMZ, that's how I actually met him, was playing DMZ. And he told me, like, like he's a new streamer, he's trying to get his channel going. And, like, he told me, he asked me if I could go subscribe. And I was like, yeah, sure. And there have been, like, a couple of times where I missed his live. I was like, dang it. And one time I actually caught his live stream. I was like, yay, I made it. And then he was like, "Oh, P," he was like, "I remember you." And then, like, we just chit-chatting. And then from there on, he made me a mod. And I was like, "What's this?" And I was so confused, because I was like, I don't know what to do. And, like, he told me, like, like, you could hide people from the channel. Like, you could put them in timeout and stuff like that. I was like, okay. But still, like, what do I do? Because I was new. But the more, incidents that, came along, the more I got the hang of it. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And then from there on out, there were other people that started making me mods. And I would never forget, it was one night, I was in this streamer's chat. And this girl, she popped in and, she said hi to the streamer. She said hi to everyone else. So I was like, okay, cool. But her vibe to me, it was giving off a little bit of her being flirty. And some stuff that as she was writing, it was like, it was inappropriate, because the streamer was not on that type of vibe at all. And as I'm watching her type, I'm like, okay, for one, I'm like, who is she? Because I never seen her before. And, she's jumping in the chat and she's saying hi, but she's also been like flirty, like very, very flirty. And so, but it was one thing that she said that caught my eye, whereas I was like, she has to go. And she said that she had sent the streamer like a coupon or a link or something to her OF. I don't know if you know what that is, and I don't know if I'm allowed to really say that.
Yeah, I know what it is. If you want to say it, then you can say it. If not, that's up to you. It's your decision. It's really on your discretion.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say it. But she said, she sent a link or a coupon or something, for her. For those who don't know what OF is, it's the OnlyFans. I won't go into details what exactly that is. For those who know, For those who don't know, I don't know what to tell you.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. And so when she said that, I was like, okay. I'm like, yeah, she has to go. And so I Discord the streamer, and I was like, do you know her? And he was like, no. I was like, okay, well, her vibe was, kind of a little off, and what she said, to you and all of that, I was like, I wasn't sure if you knew her. And he was like, no, I didn't know her. So I was like, okay, well, I put her in timeout for 24 hours. I'm like, she could come back with a better attitude.
Change your attitude and come back. We're more than happy to have you.
And so, from that day, I'd never seen her back in the channel.
Ooh. Got rid of her permanently.
No, it was 24 hours. I put her in timeout for 24 hours.
So you mentioned that you played DMZ before. Why don't you play anymore?
Okay, so see, I used to play it like a lot. Back when, when it first came out, and when it had the 6-man teams. I think around that season or those stages were like the best, but I stopped playing because I used to play with certain people, and I was like, well, some stopped playing, and then some, like this one particular person I used to play with, like he was one person I used to play with like all the time, but his console kind of gave out on him. And I was like, no. And then from that day on, I was like, well, he was the main person that I really played with, and then majority of people on my friend list were people that I played DMZ with, but it's like I see them online, but they're not playing DMZ, so it's just like, well, now I don't have anyone to play with anymore. So it's like I kind of branched out and played other things. Like I went back to Team Deathmatch, or I did GTA when I still had the full version of GTA, or I play Sims. And those who don't know what Sims is, it's like I call it a little mini reality game, but
yeah,
I played stuff like that. But it's like I'm slowly kind of getting back into the groove of playing DMZ again. It's like I'm not as good as I used to be, but I still have fun playing it. And
that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And it's like, it's this, I can't lie, there are a lot of cheaters and hackers in the game now, but I'm like, I can't really get mad or upset because I already know what I'm looking forward to when I get in the game. So it's like, I can't get mad or upset or, oh, he's cheating, he's hacking, because it's like, they're going to be in the game regardless because,
Absolutely.
Call of Duty really isn't handling the issue. So.
Yeah. So just so you know, Pink, anytime you want to run some DMZ, let me know. We'll run some DMZ. I'm always looking for a squad to team up with. So, and I'm pretty sure there's numerous players out there who would like to team up with you.
But for those out there, I'm letting you know now. I am not good, and we probably get killed, but I'm there for support and laughs.
That's what I tell everybody. I'm the meat shield. I'll go in first. I'll go in, take all the bullets while they're reloading. You guys come in and clean up. That's what I do. And a lot of the videos that I posted on YouTube, that's what it is. I'm going in, first one in, I down the first one, or I break the plates, and my team comes in next right after them, and they wipe them out. I make my team look good. That's my role. I'll take the bullet, I'll take the grenade, I'll take whatever I need to make you guys look good. And my team will come out like 6-7 kills, and I'll have like 1 or 2, but my job is done at that time. There's times where, yes, I do have the potential to clutch up and stuff, but my main job is to make my team look good. First one in, last one out. That's my thing. First one in, last one out.
Right. And see, the crazy part about it is, it's like I play Warzone and I play Team Deathmatch, and I'm good at those. But it's like when it comes to DMZ, I don't know what it is. It's like I'm not as good as I am in Team Deathmatch or Warzone. It's like
It
I don't know.
it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different ballgame. Especially with the Omni movement coming that was brought in, the movement from DMZ to Warzone is completely different. It's much harder to get it done. I used to use the boot camp as a warm-up game before I went into DMZ. So I would run a couple boot camp games and then 2 or 3 of them just to get my fingers loose and get my eyes going. And then now I go into boot camp or Warzone, and it's like a completely different movement style. And then it's like I might as well just go straight into DMZ. So I've been going straight into DMZ, not having a warm-up game, just going in full send. You know what I mean? But like I said, if you put yourself out there, you're gonna find a new crew to play with, and I'm willing to take on new people to help me die. So.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. I will definitely keep that in mind. The next time, I'm like, oh, I want to play some DMZ. I'm gonna hit you up on Discord. Be like, Donnie, let's play.
Absolutely. If I'm available, if I'm not at work or something, then yeah, we'll definitely go run some DMZ. So
awesome.
So what we also like to do here is we like to have a special quote or advice that we would give somebody, or that we would give our listeners. From I don't know if you want to give it. You don't have to if you don't want to. From your aspect of it, what would be some good advice to new streamers who are looking for those moderators? What would your advice be in regards to the person that needs to? So let me rephrase this. So that's somebody who's coming in. They're a new streamer. They're looking for mods. What's some of the characteristics that you're looking for that they should be looking for to find a good moderator?
First thing first is trust, because you just don't want to give anyone, the wrench to be a moderator, because some people will take that power and run with it and overuse it instead of actually using it as to what it's meant to be used for. So I would say, pick someone that you absolutely trust, because once again, you just don't want to pick any and everybody. Secondly, I don't really know what the second one would be, but most definitely trust.
The trust is a big key. Okay. Yeah. I was sitting here thinking about it as you were talking about trust. Trusting someone kind of covers it all. Another thing I would just probably say, in my opinion, would be trust, and then consistency. How consistent are they in your chat? If there's somebody there who knows what's going on every day, who knows what's going on, let's say you do giveaways, let's say you do different raffles and stuff like that in your chat. I think consistency would be, in my opinion, consistency would be another good one to look for. That way we don't have to keep explaining things and stuff like that. My mods will be able to say, oh, he's going to do that next week, or this is when it is, that time or that time. Because I know with like Lando and Shubs, they have their LM3, LM4 challenges. I go in there a lot this week trying to figure out, what's the LM4 challenge going to be, and his mods are like, okay, well, he hasn't done it yet. He's got to post it. We'll let you know when he posts it. They do different things like that. So I think consistency and being knowledgeable of what's going around your streamer's daily life as a streamer while he's streaming. But it's also hard. It's also hard to keep up with everybody's schedule. I mean, you said you have quite a few people that you mod for. I'm sure it's a struggle to keep up with them and remember what's going on where, or who's doing what and stuff like that. I mean, that would be a struggle for me, because I don't even know what my kids are doing right now. My door's closed. They're out there doing something. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably fighting or something, and I'm not even hearing it. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. But just keeping up on everything what everybody's doing is a big task, and being able to control crowds of hundreds to thousands of people. I know. I think one of the streamers had just over 1,000 people in his stream. I'm not exactly sure that's right. I might be wrong, but just hundreds of people, different conversations. The chats are moving fast. They're moving real quick, and being able to keep up on it, stay with it—that's a big task. And I applaud you for doing it because you seem to be pretty well at what you do. From what I've seen, you're really well at what you do. It's good. It's good that we have people like that to help out these streamers and help people out who had rough days and stuff. I tip my hat to you, Pink.
Thank you.
Don't time me out or anything, please.
Oh, no,
I don't mean no harm.
Never,
I don't mean no harm. But yeah, with that, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you having a conversation with us. It's been fun. I've learned a lot about what you do as a mod and what mods can do. It's exciting to know that we have good people out there like you helping keep these chat groups clean and safe. I appreciate you coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you. I also appreciate you for having me. Cause once again, when you asked me, I was like, yeah. Cause I'll be completely honest. I actually enjoy myself doing this podcast because I never done a podcast before. So, anytime you need me to come back and, be a guest if I'm available, then yes, I most definitely will do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. You're more than welcome to come back. You say, hey, you know what? Got some stuff I want to talk about. We'll schedule you in for a day. I mean, even if it's, like I said, we normally record on Sundays, but then we also, if Sunday can't work, then we'll go on to a different day, like a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, something that's available for you. You're the guest. We're gonna make our time for a guest, and then we're gonna get it done. So, like I said, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming in, and all the listeners out there. Thank you for listening in today. Stay safe wherever you go. Keep it chill. Keep the positive vibes going, and don't overthink it. Appreciate you guys.
See you later, everyone.
See you later.